Okay, if you were dumb enough to buy a 1985 Ford Econoline 350, which is a 1-ton diesel, I feel sorry for you. If you don't know by now, since you probably had it for so long, how to change the air filter, it's really a bitch. For some of you that have gas engines and not familiar with your van, even though it's an 85 and you've had it for a while, or maybe you just bought it, here's how you change the air filter. Now, the problem with these vans is that they're really small. The hood is a very small area to work in. The engine being big, of course, has everything else that's really tight. So you're gonna have to stick your hands into some tight places, which you may bang up your hands. Okay. The problem with these vehicles is that there's not enough room to maneuver. Okay, so as you can see, right about there, that's where the front of the air filter, I want to say pan, is located, with the air filter inside of it. There's no way to use a K&N to make this easier, to trade it out for a K&N, because they don't do that for these particular vehicles because they're diesel. Now, going into this, I've already taken it apart and got the new filter in there. But the part is that here you've got this cowling here that you have to work through. You probably already know that. You've got two of these latches and one bolt, and then you got to take the other bolt and the other latch. Okay, it's a bitch. Okay, and then because of my stupid dad, who didn't even think, he put these captain seats, and it makes it harder. If you have regular seats, it's easy to open the cowling. If you have these captain's chairs, you just can't do it. You can't pull the cowling out. So it makes it harder for me. My dad never fixed this car because you could see why. He had other people do it. And because he had other tightwads, because he didn't want to pay so much to have a regular certified mechanic do it, a lot of parts are missing. Anyways, when you take it out, it's going to be already with the lid on it. They didn't have a finger screw on there, maybe because the guy lost it and he put some other bullshit bolt on there. But it's much easier if you have a finger screw. The problem is that, let me come around the other side. As you can see, there is the area for where the fresh air comes through, but you have to match it up with the plastic that attaches, that goes to the front of the vehicle to receive the fresh air. Now, the problem is that once you get it out, it's harder to get back in. And the other thing is that you have this much space to try to get that in there. So I found a technique in order to do that without breaking things. Okay, the other thing that exists is that there is, if you can see that screen in there, and it's breakable. As you can see it right there, you could break the screen, so I'm gonna have to get another one because too many people pulled it out and dented or broke it because it's so tight. Okay, plus these captain's chairs didn't help. So anyways, what you want to do is, once this is on and then the bolt is seated on it, you want to go ahead and take the bolt, but you got to use a certain tool. And what sucks is that I paid 20 bucks at AutoZone for these type of tools that go in it. You could put it and then you untighten the bolt that's attached to the lid to the pan here. Once you get that bolt, and I hope there's a finger tight. If there is, I'm gonna have to order one. But other than that, I use that wrench for the bolt that was replaced, or the original, I don't know which. And once I loosened that, I was able to take out this middle on it, okay? And then you start taking it, you take that out, and then you take the top off, and it's hard, and you got it because there's fiberglass underneath, and it's going to shred as you're taking it out. So you pull it out as best as you can. Then the next thing is to pull this out, okay? Now, it's just the opposite of getting it back in. But the problem is that you have hoses. And what you have to do is that these hoses don't move and you don't want to break them. So what you have to do is make sure that you configure the nozzle here that gets the fresh air just right where the plastic is at. And then it will lock. Okay, so to get it back in is just like I said, the opposite. You put in the this inside the pan, you place it over, and then you try to get it where it seats down, and you move it around, that seats down. Well, the problem is that there's that plastic nozzle that's in the way, and there's some vacuum. It's a bitch, believe me. So now I got to work the other side and do this. Now I'm back to work the other side, and I try to get that plastic piece, which as you can see right there, matched up with the nozzle here. And it's hard because it's so tight, and you have to make sure that you seat it well. You can move that plastic piece because it does have ribs on it, but there's a vacuum hose that's in the goddamn way that they put, which kind of fucking pisses me off, because the Ford had to make it so fucking hard, and excuse my language, but it's bullshit, had to make it so fucking hard just to get this thing fixed, just to change a fucking air filter. Thank you, Ford, for your fucking engineering genius. Anyways, I match it up as best as I can. And I got to remember that this vacuum hose, I'm gonna have to put it over so I could put the dish in, and that's the hard part, because this vacuum hose is in the way. So now I got to take my other hand, put it up on the plastic that is joined with the nozzle, and I got to work that. So let me stop this and try to work it with both hands. Okay, I think I've seated it in there. See, can you see the hose and that? I'm not going to clamp it yet because I don't know if I'm truly seated. I got to go from the other side. This is a bitch. It's a real bitch. Just to change the damn filter. It shouldn't be this hard. Life shouldn't be this hard. But anyways, here's the filter that you get. See how huge that thing is? It's a big fucking thing. Look at that. Only my dad could do this. He always buys these kind of fucking specialized cars because he can't, because this is what he wants, and then he just walks away from them after he can't work on them. So anyways, I got to get on the other side. I don't know in your state what you have the emissions law or not, but I'll tell you, in California, it's a bitch, okay? And because of that, we have all these vacuum hoses and everything, and it's not easy with these vehicles.